my beautiful souls. You are listening to the Messy Human Tarot, and I am host, Ruby. It has certainly been a very interesting day. So if you've been on my show before, listened, a lot of what we talk about is like blend of auguring, talking about the tarot, talking about like real life experiences and wisdom and all that stuff. And something I've been really trying to be more on top of is appreciation, finding joy in the small moments. I kept getting the sign where, like if this was a restaurant order, why would you order things you don't want? Because we put out intentions all the time, and it's like almost like an energy receipt, right? We send out what we focus on, and that's the order. Whatever you focus on is the order. And that is so very frustrating for people who are trying to manifest. And I have gone through a time period where I was focusing a lot on the contrast and what I didn't want. And so, okay, let me kind of backtrack a little bit and give you some context. So a while back ago, I was having a energetic conversation with the universe. We sometimes do this. It doesn't always require words to have, but I was having this energetic conversation with the universe, and I mentioned about all the things that I really would rather have in my life, like a little bit more freedom, the ability to be home more frequently, and raise my child. And I even, like, in my head I thought, well, I do want a sitter. I do like the idea of having a sitter working while I'm at home, right? And I can be able to be with my child still. And I talked about how I wanted to feel joy in my job again. And there was a lot of different things I was talking about with the universe. And this conversation didn't happen in one day. It actually happened over several years, actually, across many different circumstances, different jobs, different feeling states. I had to go through so much to really understand what I really wanted. And whenever I would put out my order, I put it in it wrong. I forget to tell the universe I didn't want cheese, right? But I was focusing on the cheese, right? And the universe was like, oh, she must really like this cheese. So I kept getting the cheese. And I was like, no, I'm going to resend this order back to the restaurant, back to the kitchen. And they're like, she keeps asking for cheese, and she resends order constantly. I don't get it. And I didn't get it either, because it was a big miscommunication between me and the universe. And the universe was like, look, okay, clearly she needs more contrast. Clearly she wants this contrast. And the nice thing about contrast is it helps clarify a lot of different things. So many different things it clarifies. And I think we often think that there's no meaning or value behind suffering. And I disagree with that wholeheartedly. I know a lot of people say, well, why would God, who is good, create suffering in my life? And what you have to remember is we would not develop wisdom without that. I know that's a hard pill to swallow. It's horrible. No one likes it. I don't like it. I don't like suffering. Do you think I like suffering? No. Absolutely not. but most of my wisdom has been through suffering and finding ways of alleviating that suffering and making my life better. So I went through the contrast, and I had a conversation with God in many different ways across many different circumstances. And recently we had another conversation where God was saying, you do need to appreciate what you have. And we are bringing you so many beautiful things. We will bring it with such speed to you, but we need you to trust us, have faith. But the other thing too we need from you, and he said this is your homework assignment, girl. This is your homework assignment, chica. Is we actively need you to focus on what you want, on the good. We understand you have some experiences right now that are uncomfortable. With that said, though, let's distract yourself. Like, find a way to distract yourself, to get away from that thought that is dragging you down, because it's not making you feel any better staying on that thought. And so I had to multiple times find a way of distracting myself. And that's hard, because a lot of us who have depression, anxiety, CPTSD or PTSD, our brains have become more and more wired to fixate on things. We want to control our lives, but this is the time to ease up on that control. We do not need to be right about everything. We do not need to know everything. We do not need... There's so many things that we could just slow down and this person clearly wanted to be in front of me, and they cut in front of me. I, for safety reasons, do not need to be in front of that person. I can be the bigger person. It's like, that's not a big deal. I don't have to get reactive about that. They're being rude. So what? There's a lot of people out there, adults. We're adults now. And this is another message they brought in to me multiple times to remind me, like, you're an adult now. Why are you letting other adults hurt your feelings? And I've seen even adults allow their feelings to be hurt by children. By children! And they're the adults. I'm not mocking them. I'm just kind of trying to emphasize that. Not empathize, but I kind of do, but I want to emphasize that, because there are going to be a lot more meaner people out there. And if we are allowing our feelings to be hurt by children, we're going to run into a lot of problems in this world. My first lesson in working in the mental health field, you know what it was? The best nurse ever told me, do not take it personally. They are going through their own stuff. You cannot take this stuff personally. If you do, game over. You're just not going to be good at the job. And it's the same thing with being a human being. We're not going to be very good at being human beings. Yeah, we can be messy, but we're not going to be very good at healing and taking care of ourselves and focusing on the good if we take things personally. And I know I like taking things personally, but I know also too that I am a parent now, and I have less privilege in doing that, and it's hard. It really, but it does get easier, it does get better if we keep practicing it. I don't take things as personally as badly as I used to. It's so much easier to let things go and loosen up and smile and have fun. It's so much easier because I started doing it. I just started doing it, and it got easier. I'm sorry if it's still not easy for you. I really am, because I remember what it was like. I do. I hesitate to talking about that because that's a lower frequency, and I'm really actively trying to avoid remembering those lower frequencies. I literally saw 303, 333, and the universe is repeatedly told me good things come in threes. And I'm going to throw in a little tarot nugget. So let's look a little bit at the Fool card and the 10 suit. And I think, what was 10 again for? It was the Hierophant, I believe. No, Hierophant is number 5. Well, all right. So let me focus for a bit. So, all right. So, yes. Yes. Whatever it is, yes. I don't know why, but yes keeps coming forth. It just bubbled forth right now. And I was like, wait. So, okay, something the universe was talking to me about is like when you blank out and you're trying to give out an interpretation that you know, like it's a book answer. Even if like it's your answer, but it's your book answer, like you put it in a book as your interpretation. So if you blank out, there's a reason why you blank out as a medium. And they told me that it could be because like a couple different reasons. You're gonna not resonate with the answer. It's not time yet. Or more time is needed for the right answer. So whatever I was talking about, you need more time. What was I talking about? Oh, the Fool card. I was going to say 0, and I was going to talk about how, like, 0 to 10, like, there's a really cool, like, thing about that, but, yeah, maybe it's just not time for that. You know, you're going through your journey, and you're not yet maybe at that, you're not ready for something, and that's okay. Don't worry about it. I know, easier said than done. I hear that a lot from people and I say it too a lot. And the universe says, I know, we know, but don't worry. We think you're doing fantastic. You're doing a lot better than you realize. And that's God. God is good because God is cheering you on. He is your cheerleader. He's in the crowd roaring for you. Oh, the Strength card, number 8. That's what they want. They're like, nah. Let's talk about the 8s. If I'm not feeling energetically, like you guys might be feeling a little low, like negative thinking is coming through. Like you're trapped, right? Your ego is telling you like it's trying to lead you into thinking like all kinds of fear-related responses. You're getting like a real strong, heavy-duty stress response, like a lot. And that's really tough, right? That's really tough. And whoa. It's always interesting when I am doing oopsies, I almost went the wrong way. Oh my god, did I tell you about 1111? Sorry, that and 111, and then a confirmation of, like literally oh my god, it was so weird. Like I was like, this is probably a really weird random episode because some of the messages that I received was that the universe was like, you need to be listening to your messages. Listen to your messages. We've been like you know when someone calls you repeatedly and again they're saying like something's gonna happen. It's gonna happen 3 times. You're gonna see something, either if it's like 222, you know, but it happens like the number hits 3 times, or something happens in rapid 3 times, and it's gonna happen really rapidly. Like it's gonna be like really awesome. Like my throat's hurting, by the way, so I think some of you guys have been like screaming in a pillow for a while. Like you've hit your limit. I'm sorry, I am. But what was I talking about? I feel kind of like I keep forgetting stuff. It's weird. Ever since I switched over to tarot, like I've been forgetting things, and I wonder if you guys are struggling to kind of like keep your stuff together. Like I think, like. I wonder if some of you even have an amnesia. Like, that's kind of like something I'm getting the vibe off of. Like, some of you guys have amnesia, and then you're trying to push yourself to remember what you can, and it's stressing you out because, like, you know there's something important you need to remember, and you can't do it. I'm sorry. That's really tough. That's tough. We were talking about suffering. We were talking about there's meaning and value in it because that's where the wisdom is. And some of you guys are waiting for the right answers, and they may not be the perfect answer. You may not hear what you want to hear, or what you want to hear is exactly what you need to hear. It could be simply like you want to hear the universe telling you it's okay, you're safe, but you don't believe it. It could be all kinds of different things, and I feel like you should give yourself a little bit more credit. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like a lot of you out there think that you should be somewhere where you're not, like you should be at a higher standard, or like you are devaluing yourself because you're not like the other people in some kind of way. And I want to remind you that you have your own journey. You are on the right divine path for a reason. You know, you are experiencing what you're going through right now because it has meaning and value. I know. There's a lot that would be like, no, don't tell me that. Don't tell me that. I don't want to hear it. I do not want to hear it. And this is the hardest part about being a tarot reader, being a medium. This is the hardest part about, I would say I have a really odd blend of mother/crone archetype. You know, like, I feel like I am always had this crone aspect in me, you know, but now that I've gotten older, there's a mother in me now too, and the mother is gentle, but the crone sometimes says things that other people are not very comfortable with, and sometimes those uncomfortable truths are actually pretty important. We need these uncomfortable truths to move forward, because in order for us to move forward, we have to develop insight. We have to know what we're doing that is harming ourselves. And something came up today, like part of what I do is I write, and so I get messages as I write. And one of the things they said was that it's so very important for us to release what is harming us. There's something that's harming us that we hold on to, and it could be something that's been in your life really long term, like you've been doing it for several years, or you have nourished a toxic relationship of some kind, and they've been around. They could be a childhood friend, and you're in your 30s now, and they haven't grown up, or you married somebody, and it could be all kinds of different things. You've nourished a toxic friendship, situation, dynamic, job for many years. Could be even for it feels like it's long term. It's a long term thing. And the reality is it's time to say goodbye. You can't have a new start unless you're willing to say goodbye to what's holding you back. And they said something too, it was really interesting. They said, no more holding yourself back. Enough is enough. It's time to be seen. It's time for you to embrace what makes you you. And I love that. I remember reading that going like, wow, that feels so special. I love it. I do. By the way, if you do like what you hear, please comment, like, and subscribe. Tell me a little bit of what it's like to be you. And also to know that I have many different forms of mediumship services. I do text, I do email, I do ready-made orders on Etsy. I even do parties. It's been a while since I've done parties, and so I will be upfront with you. They have to be by appointment only. They also too, I will give you the expectations of them, but they're not bad expectations. They're more just they're a way of me ensuring that the psychic energy flows smoothly and healthily, if that makes sense. There's a lot of good reasons I do what I do. So feel free to check in and ask. I'm on Yelp, I'm on Etsy, I'm on Facebook. But beware, there are some scammers out there. I do got my email down there if you just want to double check and compare those emails and make sure you're safe. I provide different ways of reaching out to me. So, everyone definitely, this happened earlier. This happened in the last episode. Someone out there is expelling some pretty damn shit out there. Like, you're getting rid of something. I hate it. Oh man, that hurt. And I think it's time. I think you really should expel that crap out of your life. It's not good. It hurts. Like, my head just started pounding right after. Some of you guys might be like strained, emotionally, and it's impacting your health and your wealth, honestly. Because if you're sick, your wealth is going to suffer too. Alright, I feel like now is a good time to wrap up. This is a hard episode, actually. Like, it's not hard, but like the throat chakra thing it hurts. It really does. Like, you guys are restricting yourself. Oh, that popped up too, by the way. Restrictions and limiting beliefs. They were saying like how like you do need to kind of be more spontaneous and kind of loosen your grip and, kind of like go through your belief system and the self-imposed restrictions and kind of go through them and say, hey, that's no longer serving me. That's actually hurting me. Oh, no, that doesn't feel good. All right, well, what does feel good? Like, what's a better, healthier way of living? Because that is holding you back from being big. It is. Hate to say it, but it is. But again, I have to wrap things up. I wish you very, very well. Feel free to reach out to me. If you see stuff on there about the doula stuff, that's also too very limited. I take a limited amount of clients, and for a lot of good reasons. Everything I do has a purpose behind it, and I'm very selective in clients. And so if you are interested, we can talk. But just be aware, I have to do a whole consultation. I have to make time for it. It's not to say it wouldn't happen, but like we need to make sure we're compatible, and that means like your family, your children, we're compatible, because there's only so much you can do when you're not compatible with a family, and it's tough. It really is. Like, you can be compatible with the kiddos. You could work really well with the kids, and then with the parents, for whatever reason, it doesn't work. And it's not their fault. It's really not. It's not my fault. It happens. So I gotta go. But you are all a blessing on this planet. Toodaloozy. La 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 la.